Welcome to all. In today's lecture, we are going to see the analysis of differential amplifier, that is for one of the configuration dual input balanced output differential amplifier, as we have already seen the DC analysis for dual input balanced output differential amplifier. Today we are going to see the AC analysis for this DIBO amplifier. So for this analysis, we are going to use the R parameters instead of the H parameters for a number of reasons. Because of the nature of R parameters, AC analysis of differential amplifier with R parameters is simpler, more straightforward and less cumbersome. Unlike the H parameters, there is no need to manipulate the R parameters at different operating levels, that is different IE and VC values, except for the RE value. The performance equations obtained are easy to remember since they are not as complex as the H parameter equations. So these all above advantages or results obtained using R parameters when we compare preferably with the actual results are good. Now for differential amplifier, we are going to perform AC analysis, that is to derive the expression for the voltage gain AD, differential voltage gain, and the input resistance RI of the differential amplifier. Okay, so we can see here in the diagram the differential amplifier, which is in dual input balanced output configuration, that we have provided two input signals to the base of Q1 and Q2, that is V in 1 is given to the B1 and V in 2 is given to the B2, whereas the output voltage is collected across the collectors C1 and C2 of the Q1 Q2 transistors. Now for AC analysis, we have to make some of the changes into this circuit that set the DC voltages plus VCC and minus VE at 0 volt and substitute the small signal T equivalent for the given transistor Q1 and Q2. So we are representing these transistors in T equivalent model, and then we have to obtain an equivalent circuit for dual input balanced output differential amplifier. So that this is the equivalent circuit, AC equivalent circuit of DIBO differential amplifier. As we have set both the supply voltages plus VCC and minus VE to 0, whereas we know that the collector C1 and C2 are connected to plus VCC. When it will become to 0, this is my collector 1 for transistor Q1 and this is the collector Q2 of transistor Q2. Emitter is connected to the minus VE voltage. Already we have made the RE equivalent resistance, which is obtained by the parallel combination of RE1 and RE2, which is connected to minus VE. So the small signal T equivalent circuit is having collector, emitter and base for first transistor Q1, and this is the T equivalent for the second transistor, B2 base, C2 collector and emitter E2. So this is nothing but the terminal where both the emitters are connected, E1 and E2. This small resistance RE is the internal emitter resistance RE. Now the collector currents flowing through the resistors RC are IC1, which is flowing to the transistor, and this is the collector current IC2. Now because of E in 1, V in 1 voltage is AC input voltage, which is connected to the transistor's base through resistor R in 1. Similarly for V in 2, and the resistor is R in 2 connected here. We are collecting our output voltage at both of the collectors, that is between collector C2 and C1. The polarity of the output voltage obtained is given such that the voltage at the collector C2 is more positive than the voltage at collector C1, in spite of the collector voltages are negative with respect to the given input voltage. we can see that this is the given input voltage, plus to minus we have indicated like this, but the collector voltage obtained is negative, as we can see that the voltage developed across this resistor RC is nothing but the collector voltage, so which is negative with respect to the input signal Vin1. Now we can see here the different currents flowing into the input terminals from the output terminal of the T equivalent transistors, so that the RC register IC1 current is flowing into the RC register to the collector C1. This is the IC1 current. Similarly, here from through this register RC, IC2 is the current flowing here. Because of V into IB2 is the current flowing into the base B2, and IE2 is the current flowing towards the emitter E2. Similarly, IB1 is the current which is flowing through the Rin1 resistor to the base of B1, and IE1 is the current through the emitter E1. And here for this resistor Re, there are two currents flowing through this resistor, that is IE1 current because of Vin1 and IE2 current here because of this Vin2. So the two currents flowing through this resistor Re. Now suppose that we are providing some input voltage Vin. So this inner signal is your input voltage, which is differential input Vin1 minus Vin2. The output voltage we can obtain here is like this, which is nothing but difference between the voltage at collector C2 Vc2 minus voltage at collector C1 Vc1. So the output voltage, the polarity given is plus and minus. It means that voltage at this point is more positive than voltage obtained at C1. Here, as we have used all the transistors which are identical in all the respects, so that the emitter currents IE1 is equal to IE2. Therefore, Re1 resistor is also is equal to Re2, and for this reason the AC emitter resistance of the transistors Q1 and Q2 is simply denoted by Re. The voltage across each collector resistor is shown out of phase by 180 degree with respect to the input voltages Vin1 and Vin2. Now for this circuit, as we can see that there is one loop created here because of the Vin1 voltage. So the current flowing into this loop is like this. From this input terminal, current is flowing through the transistor towards the emitter. So this is called as loop 1. And because of Vin2, the another current is flowing through the base and emitter to the emitter's register, and this will create the another loop. Now we want to find out the output voltage equation, so that we want to determine here the differential voltage gain. So first of all, we have to write the Kirchhoff's voltage equations for both the loops, loop 1 and 2. So if we consider first for the loop 1, where voltage here is Vin1, consider this voltage as positive voltage. So voltage at this point is Vin1, and voltage drop across this Rin1 resistor is Rin1 into Ib1. So which is with respect to the given polarities, we can indicate Vin1 minus Rin1 into Ib1 minus voltage drop across this small resistor Re is Re into current IE1 minus the current flowing through this capital resistor Re, which is capital Re, and the currents are IE1 plus IE2. So first equation is Vin1 minus Rin1 minus Ib1 minus small re into current through this resistor is IE1 minus capital Re. Two currents are flowing, IE1 plus IE2 is equal to 0. This is the first equation. Similarly, for the second loop, when we are writing Kirchhoff's voltage equation, this is V into minus voltage drop across this R into IB2 minus RE into IE2 minus RE into bracket IE1 plus IE2 is equal to 0. So the two equations we got here. Now we know the current relations. For the base current, IB1 is represented as it is IE1 by beta AC, and this IB is nothing but IE by beta AC. For IB1 we are substituting as IE1 by beta AC, and for IB2 it is IE2 by beta AC. When we are substituting this relation into the first equation, first and second, we got the equation like this: V in 1 minus R in 1. In place of IB1 it is IE1 by beta AC minus RE into IE1 minus capital RE, IE1 plus IE2 is equal to 0. All terms remain same, only this IB term will get changed here. So for the second equation, V into minus R into IE2 by beta AC minus RE IE2 minus capital RE into bracket I1 plus IE2 is equal to 0. Now we will see here, generally this input resistance R in 1 into IE1 by beta AC and similarly R into IE2 by beta AC values are very small, as beta AC is a more greater factor, and because of which this proportion whatever we got here is a small quantity, and we shall neglect them here for the simplicity. When we are neglecting these two terms and rearranging the equations, these two equations we are going to rearrange, as R in 1 by beta AC is a small factor, so that we are going to neglect this total term here from the one equation, and the total term R into IE2 by beta AC from this equation number 4. So when we are rearranging after neglecting these two terms, we are going to write equation for V in 1 and V in 2. So that what is remaining is minus RE IE1 minus capital RE and this bracket, whereas these two terms are negative, so we can write here V in 1 is equal to small re plus capital RE into IE1. What we did here is IE1, these two terms we are making IE1 common. What is remaining, the coefficient is small re and capital RE plus this is capital RE into IE2 is equal to V in 1. So don't get confused here. For this equation we can simply write first as V in 1 minus RE IE1 minus capital RE IE1 plus IE2 is equal to 0. So when we are splitting this, we got IE1 common and its coefficients into the bracket are RE plus capital RE, and both are the negative terms, so we are equating with V in 1. So the negative terms will become positive. Similarly for the equation number 4. So here is what is the common factor? IE2 is the common that we can make outside, and remaining into the bracket is RE small re plus capital RE, and here for IE1 it is capital RE is equal to V into. So we got the equation 5 and 6, which are in the form of some x plus y is equal to z. So we will see how this will be. So from these equations, when we are we want to find out the equations for IE1 and IE2. So we are going to use the Cramer's rule. What is my equation 5 and 6 is, for the IE1 coefficient RE plus capital RE into I1 plus capital RE into IE2 is equal to V in 1, and for capital RE IE1 plus small re plus capital RE into IE2 is equal to V in 2. So when we are applying the Cramer's rules, if you are known about the Cramer's rules, you can easily find out the equation, and if else you could not be summarized it, we will explain it in detail. That consider here we want to find out x and y. So for this equation, the same equations we written here, IE1 is my x parameter, IE2 is y, and this V in 1 and V in 2 are z. So how we are applying the Cramer's rule for this equation is, first of all, to find out the x, we want to find out the x, that is IE1. What we are doing is write the z coefficients, V in 1 by V in 2. in the determinant here. And the next is write the coefficients of y, that is capital RE, and for the next row it is small re plus capital RE. This is at the denominator. So x, or we can say IE1 is equal to, in the determinant, V in 1 by V in 2, and here is coefficients of y, RE by RE plus capital RE, and denominator is having coefficients of x and coefficients of y, that is RE plus capital RE and capital RE, and coefficients of y are capital RE by RE plus capital RE. Similarly, we want to find out the IE2 parameter. Now what we are doing is, first in the numerator determinant we are writing the coefficients of x and then z. So the coefficients are small re plus capital RE and capital RE. See here in the first row it is, and in the second row capital RE, and the z as it is V in 1 by V in 2. The denominator determinant is same as it is, x coefficients and y coefficients. So now we are finding out the equations for IE1 and IE2. So when we are solving for these determinants, what we got is, see here, we have to make the cross multiplication here. So V in 1 will get multiplied with the RE plus capital RE, and V in 2 will get multiplied with capital RE. Similarly for IE2 also, the numerator equations are V in 2 into small re plus capital RE minus V in 1 into capital RE, and at the denominator RE plus RE bracket square minus this RE into RE, that is RE square. Same thing will be there for IE2. See, the same will be here. IE1 is nothing but V in 1 into bracket small re plus capital RE minus V in 2 into capital RE, whereas the denominator is RE plus capital RE square minus capital RE square. And for IE2, V in 2 into small re plus capital RE minus V in 1 into capital RE divided by RE plus capital RE bracket square minus RE square. So now what we got here is the equations for emitter currents IE1 and IE2 we got here. So as we got the emitter current equations, now we can go for writing out the output voltage equation. So for a differential amplifier, we know that the output voltage is nothing but voltage across the collectors. So that we have already seen, the output voltage equation is voltage at collector C2 minus voltage at collector C1. So V0 is equal to Vc2 minus Vc1. We know that from the equation, what is Vc2 is nothing but voltage available across the collector resistor RC, and which is having the opposite polarity with respect to the input voltage. So it is represented as minus RC into IC2. The current through the resistor is IC2, and this minus we are indicated here, and for Vc2 is again negative with respect to input voltage V in 1. So it is minus capital RC into IC1. So when we are rearranging this equation, it is RC into IC1 minus RC into IC2. Since we have for the emitter transistors or common emitter configuration of transistors, collector current is equivalent to the emitter current. So we can write for this equation RC, we can take common outside from these two, and what is remaining is IC1 minus IC2. Since we have IC is equal to IE, it is RC into bracket IE1 minus IE2. So this is nothing but the output voltage equation. Now what we got into this equation 9 is RC into bracket IE1 minus IE2. The equations for IE1 and IE2 are available into the equation number 7a and 7b. When we are substituting these equations into the output voltage, we actually want the actual voltage gain or differential voltage gain. We see here, after substitution of these current relations for IE1 and IE2 in the above equation of output voltage, RC is common outside. My IE1 is V in 1 into bracket RE plus capital RE minus V into capital RE, and denominator is having RE plus capital RE bracket square minus capital RE square minus, now this is my IE2 equation, V into bracket RE plus capital RE minus V in 1 into capital RE divided by RE plus capital RE square minus capital RE square. So sometimes we will get here confused, but we can prefer the previous equations. Simply what we did here is, we have substituted the values of IE1 current and IE2 current in the output voltage equation. From this equation we can see that both IE1 and IE2 will have the same denominator. So we can take the LCM here. That is, when denominator is common, we can go for the operation in between these two terms. That is, make the LCM here RE plus capital RE bracket square minus capital RE square. What is remaining is, when we are subtracting these total equation from this, now for the numerator equations, when we are observing carefully here, we have the same equations as small re plus capital RE bracket is again reflecting in the right side equation. So when we are making these two equations common, small re plus capital RE, from these two equations, what is the coefficient here is V in 1 and V in 2. When we are taking this common, this one, this equation and this equation, V in 1 is the coefficient which is positive minus V in 2 is the another coefficient. Now similarly for this capital RE is again common here, so that this negative sign and this negative sign will make it positive. So when we are taking capital RE common, the equation remaining are V in 1 minus this V in 2, and the denominator is as it is. So when we are rearranging this equation, we got V in 1 minus V in 2 in one bracket, which is multiplied by small re plus capital RE plus V in 1 minus V in 2 into capital RE, with denominator RE plus capital RE bracket square minus capital RE square. Now we can see here that V in 1 minus V in 2 is again common. We can make it outside. So V in 1 minus V in 2, this coefficient is RE plus the another coefficient capital RE. So which can be written as small re plus 2 capital RE divided by RE plus RE bracket square minus RE square. Now we have to split this bracket and solve the equation. So that after splitting this bracket, a plus b square is nothing but a square plus 2ab plus b square. In the same way we are splitting small re square plus 2 small re capital RE plus capital RE square minus RE square. So that this capital RE square positive and negative capital RE square will cancel out each other, and remaining is capital small re square plus 2 small re capital RE. So the equation is, here again small re is common, take common outside, the remaining is small re plus 2 capital RE. Again denominator is having small, same equation, small re plus 2 capital RE. So these two equations will cancel out each other, and output voltage is nothing but RC into bracket V in 1 minus V in 2 divided by small re, or in another way we can write it as output voltage is RC by small re into bracket V in 1 minus V in 2. So output voltage is RC by small re, whereas V in 1 minus V in 2 is nothing but differential input voltage VID. We know that differential voltage gain is output voltage divided by differential input voltage, and when we are rearranging this equation, V0 by VID is RC by small re. So the differential input voltage gain or differential gain is equal to output voltage by differential input voltage is equal to capital RC divided by small re. Thus, a differential amplifier amplifies the difference between two input signals as expected, and we can see the output waveforms for this dual input balanced output differential amplifier, as we are defining VID is equal to V in 1 minus V in 2, and which is the difference in input voltages. We can write the voltage gain equation of DIBO as we have already written here. We can notice that the voltage gain equation of the differential amplifier is independent of emitter resistor RE, since RE did not appear in the equations. That is output voltage gain equation AD is equal to capital RC by small re. The another point of interest is that this equation is identical to the voltage gain equation of the common emitter amplifier. So this is the output voltage equation waveform that we have. The input voltage VID is V in 1 minus V in 2 waveform, and the output is Vc2 minus Vc1, which is V0 obtained here. So this is nothing but the AC analysis for differential gain we have find. In the next lecture we will see the input resistance and output resistance using the R parameters for dual input balanced output differential amplifier.